Did you know you have a body? Really? Like, did you know that you have a body? That you are body? That you are not the Cartesian, I think, therefore I am, a head on a stack of books, a head disconnected from the whole body self. But everything that you live and move and have your being is through your body. From your toes to every follicle of hair on your head. Just take a moment with me. Just, have you listened to your breath yet today? Can you feel your breath anywhere in your body? Can you feel where it's stuck? Just take a moment with that, with your breath. We are in an intense level of cultural and societal transformation. This can be very good. There also can be a lot of things coming forward and revealing and being felt in the levels of some great, deep, personal and collective pain. And we all have a tendency, myself included, to disconnect. So part of my story is overcoming myself. In spite of being a vocational dancer and performer, I had a lifelong, I had a diagnosis about 10 years ago of major depression. I'll be sharing a little bit about that to come. And therefore, I had to begin a journey to discover whether it was truly chemical, truly in my head, or actually the narratives of my childhood, of my ancestors, of the society, stuck in places inside the body. We all have these places inside of us. These stories, these narratives, these ways of moving in the world that have made us who we are, and at a time, perhaps, when we were a child, it helped us to survive. And perhaps now is the time to let it be integrated, to be released, to be overcome, and to let new movements, sometimes they're ancient movements, for the future in the now body, right here, right now. So I just wanted to take a moment to reconnect again about what is this thing called the art and practice of movement. You can go back. I stopped offering these weekly videos around May 19th, shortly before the murder of George Floyd. And then I had a couple more videos in response to white supremacy. And I'm sharing on my platform my own journey in pieces about understanding that as I want to get down into that heart voice, as I understood my pain and my overcoming, I also understood that process was deeply a part of white supremacy. And around the time that I was writing about this and sharing this, I came across, all in like 2 days, Reesma Menachem's work. He is a human working in the very important work of racialized trauma for all people. So it was really powerful for me to realize that through movement, through body-based awareness practices and moving in the art and practice of movement, I had come in the last few years to understand this journey in my own body. And then it was so wonderful that if someone was to say to me, but you are just a dancer, how do you know about all this neurology and epigenetics and trauma trapped in the body? Or you're a dancer, so of course you move. That's all BS in terms of being a dancer. Some of us dancers actually are the furthest from understanding our need for healing and our need to really inhabit our bodies in an ecological sense, and not in a colonized sense or a mind over body sense. But enough about dancers. For all humans, we carry so much narrative in our body. We carry trauma. Sometimes it goes back hundreds, maybe thousands of years. But the good news is that we have the power, we have the resource to overcome and to begin that process within ourselves, each one of us. My teacher, Thea Elijah, calls it me first healing. Not that kind of Pollyanna, oh, the world is too much, I'm gonna hide away and I'm just gonna take care of myself and go to my happy classes, whatever they are, yoga, or, I don't mean to call out yoga, but or to my church or whatever it is, or into my happy little enclave or home. It's not that. It is just recognizing, as Thea says, that we are interconnected with everything. And we're no good if we aren't really finding healing and our feet on the ground and our sense of a whole heart connection. That's actually the name of Thea Elijah's work. And I'll talk about that. Actually, I'll take us through something in just a moment. That we are no good. We are no good no matter how loving, how nice, how kind, how much we've read white fragility or whatever it is. We're no good unless we're really coming into this healing. Then we are able to do it on the collective. And maybe you feel okay and you don't need, there's not real deep pain or sticky places around some of the, personal part of your life or the collective. You've done it, you're doing it, but maybe you exhaust yourself and you're just depleted, or maybe you cannot figure out cognitively, mentally, the right decision making for your organization. Can you hear something going on in the background? I'm not sure if you can. There's an ice cream truck going by. That's lovely. And I invite you to know that you are a whole body self. Now you get to see my silly little shorts I only wear when it's almost 90 degrees in Seattle and I go running. You must come into the whole body, into your elbows, into your ears, into your heart, into your gut. So I'm going to move on to a little exercise here. And it's really cool because I kind of tapped into this one myself, but with kind of Thea's work and my own work connected to the brain dance. Thank you, Anne Green Gilbert. And then realizing that this is one of the first things that Reesma Menachem does to help. And I won't go into the details, but let's just do the exercise. And I'm just going to give us a little sound. I'll be right back. And I love this piece. This is Push Through from the album Push Through by Beth Fleener. Ooh, so just take a moment to shake. Shake your tail like a puppy dog. I'm going to give me a little better view here. Shake your tail, shake your ribs, and close your eyes. You don't even need to watch me. Just listen to my voice. And nobody's watching you. Just close your eyes. Shake your tail, shake your ribs, shake your head. And then just notice that as you're shaking your tail, shaking your ribs, shaking your head, notice the axis of your spine running from your tailbone up into your skull. So some of us, let's just take it a moment just to think about those of us that are always in our head. So just disconnect your body for a second and just open your eyes and look in there in the room with just your head. Just look around the room. Just take in, looking everything, and look around the room a little bit like a chicken. You know, like the chicken is clucking, looking around. And then relax your head. And come down into your heart and put your hand over your heart for a moment. And just move your heart. Move the lungs and the heart. You can lean back, lean side, lean front. You can circle. I'm kind of rushing through this. And I want you to imagine this spine connection, the energy of the spine related to the top of the head, moving down, supporting the back of the heart, the spine. The heart can lean back into the spine. And then let's go down to the gut for a second. And some of us can be fearful. And let's just blow it, as my teacher Theo would say, let's just blow it. Let's tuck our tail like a bad dog, like a scared dog. And tuck your tail. And think about those places in your life, or notice them after today, where if you get afraid, do you hunker down into your pelvis and tighten your hips and tuck your tailbone? Or maybe you try to show everybody you're really great and you stick your tail out in your chest and you're just, I'm a good person, I'm a happy person, and you're trying to show everybody your happy tail like a puppy dog. And then let's go back to finding our heart between these places. And I want your pelvis to be like a boat floating on water. And then let's make the internal connected to the external. So bring the water awareness into your pelvis. That you have water in the pelvis as well as pushing the boat from the outside. It's maybe one of those silly hot tub boats that are floating around Lake Union in Seattle. So you've got the water, and let that water start to rise up through your ribs and connect with the heart. Feel the fire and the water mixing from the heart into the water. And then let's bring our crown, our enlightened human, Homo sapien, this big brain we have. Let's bring that brain down into the heart, moving the head and the tail. And then I just want you to look into your back space. Just look behind it. And as you look behind, move your shoulder, move your hip. And then look the other way and move your whole hip so we can get into the psoas that connects between the spine and the leg. And then look back. We're also connecting with the vagus nerve. And then just feel a sense of moving your head from the back and your hips from the back and your heart. Feel the back of your heart. And then notice if the axis of the spine feels a little more vertical than it did. And you can do this in your seat. You don't have to do it standing. And then just notice if your breath has gotten deeper. Is the diaphragm pulling down? Can you feel yourself breathing up into the clavicles, into your throat, up into the high upper lungs? Oh. I'm going to turn the music off. Thank you, Beth Fleener. And just take a moment to look around the space, but feel that looking coming from your hips, up through your heart, and out through your eyes. And then connect with the heart as the hips are supporting the heart, are supporting the visual look around your room. And really connect with your room as you're connecting with me. That we've got to work on this ecology of being when we are online. I might do a whole session on that, and I've learned a lot also from my teacher, Thea. Studied with a lot of people, but Thea is the one that has remained strong in understanding these body-based awareness practices. So notice, do you feel any different? Just notice what you notice. And then maybe there's an impulse to move in a moment when you turn this off. And just take a few moments, a few minutes, set a 5-minute timer so you don't have to think about time. And just listen for how your body is asking you to move. And you might possibly be releasing and creating a healing or some more knowledge and wisdom in the big love movement. Peace be with you.